Well,
All right.
sometimes when you don't have any sleep, I don't know about you, but I find that I actually do some of my best creative work when I don't have any sleep. And there are several reasons for that. First of all, your guard is down,
Yeah.
right? So you get to tap into that part of your subconscious or conscious, the other, you're not really focused and sharp. You ever notice that? So you tap into your creative flow and you get to
Well, yeah. Brings up my inner giant salamander.
exactly, exactly. I mean, you can't do that all the time. You eventually do have to get some sleep. But I'm saying, the fact that you didn't sleep at all last night?
No, it was surprising. Well, you will see me wince once in a while because my triceps will spasm and it hurts like a bitch.
Show
No, I
me,
didn't.
show me your elbow.
Well, I can't. The best I can do is go like this.
All right.
So, like
So,
it's a bitch to get everything off.
so you banged your elbow. You didn't sleep at all last night. Did you take any drugs at all?
No, no, I don't.
No.
I hold off on the anti-inflammatories for about 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So yeah. See if I can get past it. So
I don't think I'm man enough to do that. I would be going straight for Tylenol and Advil.
if it's a real bitch, like it's uncomfortable, but it's not on fire. You know what I mean?
Well, it sounds like
So
it's pretty bad if you didn't sleep.
yeah, well, that's like when you get something in your eye and it bugs you all night,
Uh-huh.
like one
Okay.
of those. So I'm a good
Yeah.
sleeper, but in
Yep.
truth, I'm a light sleeper.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah. Anyways, but when you're not at your best is when you often have to be at your best. So
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
That reminds me of when I was like 24 years old. I used to party quite hardy in my 20s and I went out and had a real bender on a Friday night and I had a big wedding that Saturday and I was really
Savage.
really 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 hungover. And
Yeah.
I had to drive to Verner, you know where that is. It's about an
Yeah.
hour from here. I always remember that day because I was freaking out thinking, "Oh my God, I'm in such bad shape, massive headache and but I was still able to get my shit together and drive out there and I had one of the best days ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
thought, okay, the reason why was because I was hyper focused and I was trying to make up for the fact that I was in a less than ideal spot. That makes sense?
Sure does.
But that's
Beauty is a hell of a power, man.
but that
It
could be
is.
dangerous because the next week I could have said, "Yeah, I did it last week. Let's do it again." And I
Yeah.
think,
Well, what's that expression they use? Chasing the dragon, where it's
yep.
like, hey, I got away with it, and that was fun. Let's do it again.
Well,
You know?
if you're prone to compulsive addictive behavior, which I would kind of sort of was, that might be a problem. So, but I think when it came to work,
Or were you addicted to fun, Robert?
yeah.
Or is that the same thing or a different thing?
Well, when you're talking about alcohol or drugs for that matter, you have one, you have two, you have two, you have 20. That's
Right.
me.
Okay.
So I could not drink. I was a weekend drinker, but for the most part, but I could not drink, so I couldn't be social.
Yeah.
And when you're 24, 25, you're full of piss and vinegar, and I was starting my business and felt I could do it all.
You were a fire breathing dragon yourself.
Yeah, and chasing that dragon, it's kind of weird though. I never suffered in my like I always showed up. I was never late, so it didn't deteriorate my ability to work. Thank God.
Yeah.
It could have and should have a million times over because I should have and could have been charged with drinking while under the influence many, many times. And I don't know how I got away with that one because if I'd have had one of those, as you know, you lose your license for a year.
You
That's
have to
just,
get lucky sometimes.
I did. So, but I don't know. Maybe somebody was looking over me. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So you're tired. You're not on your best. On that topic, um, Have you ever noticed when you get like 9 hours of really good sleep, you feel more tired the next day?
Oh yeah, it's like the flu. It's like, oh, I fucked myself.
Something happened.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that that observation and that reality ties in with what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah. Or like that one, you wake up at 5:30, hit the alarm, you go back to sleep till 7,
Yeah,
and it's like you got a hangover. It's like I should have got up at 5:30.
I
So
know that feeling. It's
it takes
weird.
too much intelligence to do that, to do it. It's like,
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
interesting. So, yeah, so here we are having a conversation with absolutely no agenda. We were just having coffee the other day, and I said, "Hey, we should do a podcast."
Mm.
One of the reasons I wanted to do this was, in part, just to see, and also in part to say, well, I had the impression that I don't know that it was something you've ever done before.
Like what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Not.
Podcasty.
I've been on Zoom meetings where I was the so-called expert at something. You know what I mean?
Okay,
But
that counts.
yeah, and but not quite a free for all like this. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I'm better at a free for all than I am under a professional script, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good. And that's something, even though I can't say I know you super, super well, I know you well enough to say that, yeah, he's a creative guy and he's got lots to say.
Hmm.
And if you give him a painting, he'll paint that painting. He'll fill it. There's going to be a vista there, size of a billboard.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And it's a
yeah,
very creative thing, as
yeah,
is testament by your posts and your writings and
yeah.
that you're often putting out there.
I
So,
got, that's interesting you say that, Robert. I bet you the same in this, and it goes back to what that young woman was talking to you. In truth, even though I've I got a lot to say, I end up listening almost all the time. More of it's just like because
mhm,
when somebody enters into conversation with me, they want to talk, like,
right.
and they don't even necessarily want to hear what I have to say. They're just using me as a sounding board. You know, like I, you know, like half my conversation back to them is grunts and nods.
That's a
You
real
know?
skill set to do that. Do you do that consciously?
I think it's because I'm in sales.
Uh-huh.
I always was a listener. Uh, I'm both, but it was like I do find it frustrating sometimes because it's like I want to talk or I want to give answers, and it was like I stopped because it took me a while to figure out it's that sounding board thing where
Hmm.
they're reasoning when they're talking, they're reasoning, and there's like a because they got a human 3 feet away from them or a couple of feet away from them,
Yeah.
it allows the reasoning to take place, and
Hmm.
like um, but that requires that even the person doing the talking, they got to be at a point in their life where they have the bravery to do that. They have to not feel vulnerable or too much. Anyway, it's a trust. So when that 29-year-old approached you,
Yep.
at a minimum, there was a lot of trust there.
Or desperation. She was looking for answers, and there I was. It was kind of
Yeah, yeah,
spontaneous.
yeah. You were still
Uh,
a life. You were still a life raft, though. She
yeah,
spotted
yeah.
you.
I hope I helped her. So, um, you say trust, and you talk about listening. That's yeah. Just most people don't do that. They just don't have that ability or that skill set. I don't have it. I'm aware of it. And quite often, more often than not, I'm like, ah, I should have listened more. I should have listened more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a real powerful thing when one can do it. And that's
Yeah.
part of the reason why, you're part of this men's group I started 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and we sit around once every 2 weeks or once a month and for 2 hours and we each take turns talking. And the rule is you can only listen. Nobody's allowed to talk because it kind of cuts in on their time. But it gives that person the ability to connect to something. What exactly, I don't know. But in reference to what you were talking about, when you're one on one with someone, if you have the ability to just listen,
hmm hmm
Wow.
Well, it's ancient stuff. Started with campfires.
That's where it
You know,
started. And
so
salamanders.
yeah, yeah.
So, but did you always know that, or did you develop that through your sales? And because I'm sure your work allowed you to, or gave you, put you in a lot of circumstances where you had to be either persuasive, convincing, or communicative insofar as getting your point across in order to advance the sale.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make any
Oh,
sense?
sure. I don't even know. I bet you, Robert, I've read like God books, close to 200 books on sales.
Uh-huh.
90% of which were just shit. They
Uh-huh.
were manipulation devices that were all like it's like
Okay.
uh, some of the best ones, like Jeffrey Gitomer. He was the good guy where it's like, no, it's about communication. It's like, are you communicating back and forth? And he would like show how sloppy it was and stuff like that. And again, where it was like these sales books were like basically a pump and dump type experience where it was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got some snake oil to sell you, and I'm gone out of town.
Yeah.
Like so it was not about that. So it's really about to communication skills. I also think it was lucky with some of the friends I grew up, even starting in kindergarten. I met a handful of guys. And then later years, you can even throw in some of the girls in class that they were smart as hell and they were listeners, where it was like, it wouldn't be like, Miller, what the fuck you do? And they were like, hey, what are you working on? You know what I mean?
They weren't
Like,
listening. They thought you were cute.
sure. I could run fast and catch things, you know?
It was all
But
a ruse, those feminine wiles. They were trying to lure you into their trap.
oh, so funny. You don't even know what was going on. But one of these guys, Travis Capes, a spectacular individual. And I haven't been in touch with him in quite a few years. And he had a high up position at the Royal Bank.
Hmm.
But I remember us in grade 4 just talking outside on the playground and going, hey, you ever notice when you stand downwind of Jane, she smells really good? You know what I mean? And we were, oh, this is where horny was developing.
Early days, early days.
We would stand downwind of Jane Peters. So
She smells good.
she smelled good. She smelled good.
I I
Yeah.
often tell that to women when you hug people you see and she smells good. I say that. I say you smell pretty, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, should I be saying that?
Yeah.
No one seems offended.
No, no. And little dribs or drabs. And speaking of smelling, it was like I didn't get a lecture, but it was like when I was in the research department there for a short bit at the Dominion Securities Royal Bank, I was wearing an expensive cologne. And I knew at the time, because I'd read it, that you should be
Hmm.
only able to smell a cologne from 2 feet away because it's
Okay.
intimate.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, just the same, I was taken aside by the manager, and it was like, you don't wear any of that stuff here. You smell like a guy that works on the loading dock. You know what I mean?
Really?
And it was like,
It's all
I
about the
knew he was
pheromones.
right, but I was all offended because I was like, fuck, I had spent like $200 in this little, you know,
Uh-huh. The good
I
stuff.
thought I, I thought I was the cat's ass.
Uh-huh.
No, don't smell
Yeah.
like anything. You know,
Yeah. Well, he's kind of got a point.
it's
Uh,
huge.
I'm not sure about the loading dock thing, but maybe there's something to that. But there's these kind of rules that you want to abide by in order to
Yeah,
not send the wrong message to anybody. And I would assume that applies to what you say it, how you greet people, and all that good stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
if you're smelling of cologne, so that was
yeah,
the rule.
yeah. And I can't even remember his name, but he was from Liechtenstein. He was actually a prince.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, 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 working in
You
Canada.
you knew royalty.
Well, he was a cool guy. On any given day, you would never think he was royalty. 'Cause,
Yeah, you're just a
yeah, he was
regular.
colorful,
Cool.
but he knew shit. He knew
Yeah.
shit. You
Well,
know.
he
Yeah.
taught you.
Yeah.
Don't be wearing
Yeah.
that cologne.
No. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, just the people I grew up around, because I also sensed where communication wasn't being made. And
Hmm.
even as a kid in the 70s and 80s, I used to hate television movies where you need to hear me out. There's some sort of tidal wave coming, and they're like, shush, I'm trying to do a crossword puzzle. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck off. You know what I mean? So it was like, no, 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 you're gonna listen to me. We're
Yeah.
we're in shit. you know,
You ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Napoleon? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, it's not
yeah.
Napoleon. That's Think and Grow Rich.
Oh,
How to Win Friends and Influence People by
I did read it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know, that guy.
yeah. Shame on me for not knowing who that. I
Shame
can't
on me
remember.
too. You'd think I would know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I even remember his boss's name, Stone,
No,
owned
it
an
wasn't
insurance
him.
company.
It wasn't him. Yeah, yeah, Stone hired him.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, no. There's a loose connection to what you're saying there.
Shame on
Uh,
it. It's like not remembering Elvis. It's like what the guy that could really sing.
Stone hired the guy who wrote Napoleon Hill, right?
Okay. Okay.
Napoleon Hill in his later part, he needed money and he was struggling, and Stone hired him. How to Win Friends and Influence People was written by Dale Carnegie. I
Yeah.
don't think Dale Carnegie ended up working for Stone.
Dale
Stone was a
Carnegie.
big insurance guy.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
lived to be like 110. I think he died not that long ago, believe it
See,
or not.
why isn't there a statue of that guy?
Be
That's
because apparently he was a real prick.
oh,
Apparently,
okay.
Stone
Okay.
up there with J.D. Rockefeller and the other guy that they did the movie There Will Be Blood, who
Yes.
loosely based on the other guy that did the whole oil thing back at the turn of the century.
Brilliant movie, but what a downer.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I can't watch a movie like that again because it's just too dark. Any dark movie is, even if it's really well made, I can't watch it.
I call them one-timers.
One
Thank you.
timers.
Glad I saw it. Not going to watch it again. I
Yeah,
don't need to because, to be honest, I remember those ones quite vividly.
I'm not convinced that that movie is as good as it was, extolled to be. Everybody kept going on about it, but I was like, nah, didn't really do it for me. And I've heard other people like Andrew Clavin, who's got a channel with Ben Shapiro's company. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Andrew Clavin is a conservative Hollywood screenwriter, author. He's got a lot of decades of experience in the movie industry. Now he's just got this podcast channel where he doesn't interview people, he just talks like Ben Shapiro, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And he did a thing that I watched not that long ago, just talking about that specific movie, because apparently the guy who did that movie was also the same guy who did the most recent movie, which is called One Battle After Another with Leonard DiCaprio.
Yeah,
You heard
yeah,
about that
yeah.
movie?
Yep, I've watched a bunch of reviews on it, and it's like, uh, yeah, apparently guys like me are bad.
Yeah, I guess me too.
You know?
But most of the reviews at first that I read were positive, like best movie ever. So I went to see it with my wife last week,
Oh, okay.
and I left the movie. I was like, oh, that was disappointing. And the best review I watched on it, I've noticed that since then the movie reviews, it seems like the first wave that come out, they're all like, it's almost like they're bought and sold by Hollywood.
Well,
Make sure
100%.
you toe the line.
Yeah.
But the true independents start coming out, and you get the truth. But the
Yes.
one that I like the most is a guy called Critical Drinker. He's a Scottish dude. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Go away now.
Yeah, yeah, you know him. He released a review, and I watched it last night on that movie,
Yeah.
and it was the
Yeah.
best. Just summarized it all.
I like the
With
critical drinker because even when I don't agree with him, I know where he's coming from.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he's always on point. He's telling you what he sees, So it's
yeah.
like,
Well,
yeah,
that's what a reviewer is all about. Uh, it's just an opinion.
yeah, yeah. But we've all seen it before. A lot of critics, well, They always were bought and paid for back in the day, but they sure are now. But a lot of these, especially like they try to like invoke sophisticated talk about things they can't do. And it's annoying. Or well, we saw it with rock bands in the 70s where it was like a band would put out a brilliant album and they just shit on it to have this sort of sense of superiority on it. And I was like, what are you joking here? You know what I mean?
You're talking about the critics, yeah.
Yeah. Where it was like, I don't even care for that album myself. It says it's not even I can recognize that was well
Yeah.
done. You know what I mean?
I could never understand how you could be a music critic. I just could never understand that
Yeah.
because it's
Well, I
so
think
subjective. Unless it's obvious crap,
yes.
then it should be crap. So if I'm going to become a music critic and I'm going to start a YouTube channel, it's going to be called Obvious Crap.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that was kind of weird. But movies are different because movies touch us in a different way because they're stories. Music's a feeling. It's
Yeah.
primal, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very few times have I listened to a story in a song.
Uh-huh.
Like Edmund Fitzgerald with Gordon Lightfoot. That
Hmm.
would be a rare example where I'm really paying attention to the
Uh-huh.
lyrics. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's one-offs.
Yeah, like even the Doors, I'm listening to the lyrics because
Yeah.
they're poetry, but they just sound cool. But I'm still not really. I'm riding the mood. I'm riding
Did
the wave.
did you
Yeah,
go through a Jim Morrison phase, the Doors phase in your life? Somewhere
sure did.
somewhere in your 20s? Seems like everybody
Yeah,
did. I did.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like was obsessed with the Doors and it just connected and spoke to me for a while.
yep. 1987, I read that shitty book,
No one
completely
gets out
sincere.
alive?
Yeah, by Danny Sugarman, and you took it at face value. At least I took it at face value back then. And it's like, nah, like just made him out like he was the world's biggest asshole all the time. No, he wasn't. Why he
Yeah.
got into drinking as much as he did, I have no idea.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, he was intelligent. When your dad's like an aircraft carrier captain,
Yeah.
brains runs in the family. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know?
Yeah, he was a pretty smart guy. Um, it's kind of tragic, you know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I've always was fascinated by the guy. And when I was younger, I was fascinated like in the sense that I kind of looked up to him.
sure.
That's self-destructive. But, as you get older, you think, no, 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 no. There's something.
Yeah. In an interesting way, but I think you could apply this to a lot of men back then, probably women. He seemed way more mature. When you think that he was like dead at 27,
Yeah.
he was a baby. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. He was a baby. I think he was extremely lost and he was looking for answers, as many of them are.
Sure.
And put Elvis in there too, and possibly who's the young singer? Come on, I'm blanking out. He's Canadian.
Kurt Cobain?
No, he's alive.
Oh, uh, there's a lot of those.
He's from Southern Ontario. He's got family up in Timmins.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Come on.
Don't know. Sorry, brother. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, yeah, you know him. One of his big hits was "Baby Baby."
I'm still useless.
Anyways,
Still useless.
I look at a guy like that, and I can compare notes to Jim Morrison. Um, it's driving me nuts, so I'm looking for it.
Baby, baby.
That's not it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
That's not the right song, but it's got Justin Bieber. It's just called Baby.
oh, that poor bastard.
That poor bastard.
Jesus. He looks like something from The Walking Dead now.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. Poor
Well,
guy.
I,
He's
I think
fucked for life.
I think he's suffering, and that's you can draw parallels to Jim Morrison and what have you. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
going with that. That's why I brought him into the topic, to the conversation. So guys
Yeah.
like that, they have a lot of how do you reconcile that much fame and that much wealth from the age of 15? He was 15 when he made it big. He was huge.
Yeah.
So, and you look at a guy like Jim Morrison, I'm sure Jim Morrison thought he was a fraud. I'm sure he's thought he was an imposter.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had to
Like,
have been.
well, he kind of gives it away. Like on live there, where it's like he's yelling at the audience, "You're all fucking slaves." He's not insulting them. He's not
No.
insulting them. He's actually like he's recognizing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Possibly
And
more in himself than anything.
sure, man. So I was like, yeah, I can't imagine that much adulation. Like one of the biggest lies we're told in our society. Now, I don't really hear it anymore, but be rich and famous was like, rich, that's pretty cool. Famous, fuck, I don't need much of that. You
No.
know what I mean? Like, because what the part is, it's like they don't tell you. It's like to be interviewed like they are, or just moronic question after moronic question. And then approached on the street where it's like if you don't give them an autograph, they're trying to stab you. And like, my God, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
ugh. So I was like, and then like you protect your privacy a bit. Oh, apparently you're a difficult individual now.
Hmm.
Good. So now I think you follow the Harrison Ford model of like, I'm gonna buy a giant ranch where it's to come and see me, it's a half-hour helicopter ride.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Because it's like, and I don't know him at all, obviously, but
That's what he did for
yeah,
good reason.
yeah,
Well, a lot of them have done that and have kept themselves sort of stable and sane and all of that.
yeah. Kurt
That's,
Russell and Goldie Hawn.
yeah.
Jesus.
I like Kurt Russell.
Yeah, yeah,
Always liked him.
yeah.
And
Delicate one. He was a child star too. Like
yeah,
you know.
handsome like the devil. And somehow, somewhere, he just sort of like um, didn't fall off the wagon. He didn't go crazy like a lot of them do. It seems I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Let's compare him to Michael Douglas,
Yeah,
who had a lot of struggles in his life, mostly with sex addiction.
yeah.
There could be worse
Is
addiction.
there such a thing?
As what?
Like that's like saying I got an addiction to water. You know.
There is such a thing because the criteria that one would use for any addiction is it affecting the rest of your life? So are you obsessed? Is it an obsession? That's the marker that one uses. That's the locus of control. Um,
I would say for me, it was never an obsession, but it was always a good idea.
yeah,
You
but
know
you
what I mean?
wouldn't stray, nor were you vulnerable.
Yeah,
You
not even
know,
when I was single, Rod. Like,
yeah.
especially in my Toronto days, there were man, I saw some stuff, and I was like, I was often the guy that didn't go home with anybody because I didn't want to. Where it was like, I was amazed at what some of my friends would fucking have sex with. Where it was like, I'd be looking at her going, "Wow, she's like a chameleon. Her eyes move in two different directions," and it's like, "Oh, she's got a mustache," and it was like fuck, you know, like, and I was kind of disgusted, but I was like admiring my friends. I was like, "Wow, you can get hard for that. That's like
Yeah.
fucking that's Olympian level physical skill." So no, in my own funny way, very I was incredibly selective.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was putting on an act. It was just instinctual.
It's
It's
good. You
instinctual.
got that from somewhere, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. I think part of what it was, I was always looking for a wife and I didn't even know it.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. That's kind of
Yeah.
old fashioned.
Yeah.
You'd be
Well, actually,
considered you'd be considered a fascist nowadays for thinking that way.
then let's cut to the chase. Maybe it's my farming background.
Probably.
I was looking for a breeding partner. You know what I mean? We're gonna have some fillies and colts. I need a good bloodline here. There you go. Nothing
Yeah.
sexy about it or romantic. It was just like, yep, yeah.
Well,
I think we can make the Kentucky Derby with this one. You know.
that's legitimate.
Now, not to be too colorful here, but once I did find like a young lady that was like that I was attracted to,
Uh-huh.
wow, she had to have a lot of endurance, my friend.
Why?
Because it was like very physical. Make a long story short.
Okay. Well, you're a farm boy.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. No, I had friends I think could fuck a snake if you held it for them.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, it's a lot of truth behind that for a lot of guys. And I've known guys, as you've probably known guys, you talk about some of the friends that went home with chameleons and they weren't looking for a long term. That was not a priority value in their world at that time, at least. So,
no, no.
oh, it's crazy.
But
You got the
this,
message early. You got the message early.
yeah, because you know, none of these guys got out of these situations unscathed. I do have a few friends that would, you know, drive a junker and then they pretend like it didn't happen and they're back to high quality. But it was like I
Okay.
gotta admit, a lot of casualties of guys I know back then where it was like, no,
All right.
that's still a junker, you know.
Okay. So back to the definition of sex addiction, since we're onto that topic, that's what led this. And I was trying to explain to you that when you have an obsession, and what happens when you have the obsession is nothing else matters, and you start to destroy the rest of your life. So your life becomes pretty much unmanageable, and everything suffers in your life. That's where and yeah, it exists. So it's kind of different from what you're explaining and your experiences, and which most guys have been to, and we've all been there ourselves or have had friends at least. And you kind of like outgrow it because at some level you're like, nah, that's not gonna last. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
But I've known guys, as I'm sure you have, let's call them, for lack of a better word, players.
Yes.
And that's all they wanted to do.
Especially in their 30s.
And then you get into your 40s and 50s and you still haven't resolved that obsession and it's still part of you, you start to look really stupid. Or you die because you got AIDS or
Yeah.
something, or you got caught up and somebody shot you in their bed because they caught you having sex with their girlfriend or something like that.
Well, that's the thing. There's often a cost. And as
Yeah.
I've said to you before, these aren't penthouse letters where it was all fantastic. You know what I mean? And then you carried on your merry way. It was like, that is a very rare thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it was like, oh, terrible. Can I tell you something terrible?
Go for it.
Okay. A good friend of mine, I was in actually university with him, physics guy, and came from a prominent business family. And he was a great looking guy, like basically George Lazenby, that James Bond guy,
Uh-huh.
fuck, almost close to a twin. Anyways, unfortunately, he went through a divorce with his wife, and I was very unfortunate. But he became a player, and I was like,
Really?
I calculated like allowing for a 6-inch dick in 1 year, he fucked 27 feet of pussy. So
You did the math?
I did. Strange that way. Then it was like, and he was such a straight shooter too. Where it was just,
So where's he at now?
he's done well for himself in the financial industry.
Yeah.
But he's down in Toronto, and I haven't actually been in touch with him for a few years.
Okay.
But he was
So
also good. Go ahead.
if he watched this, would we know you're talking about him?
I'd probably have to. How filthy can we get?
You can get as filthy as you want, but
God.
I just don't know if you want to incriminate anyone.
No, no, I won't. I
Did
won't.
you
But it
say
was.
his name?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, okay,
And
good. Then you're safe. Okay,
anyways,
thought you said his name.
and
Don't say
he
his
owned a
name.
nice place in the financial district, and but he told me a story where it was like because the women were after him. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, a lot, and but he was like he would often describe like a lot of these women were lost, uh, had baggage and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
He even went to like a swinging type resort at a island just privately himself.
Uh-huh.
He said it was a total disaster. He said, Doug, everybody there was ugly. It was like he said it wasn't as advertised.
Ugly
And
and horny.
like he was there for he booked for a week and he flew back in something like 3 or 4 days. It was like that was a disaster.
Well, what was he doing there in the first place?
He was probably I'm not gonna say he wasn't sex addicted, but he was close.
Uh-huh.
And I think and that's where I go, is there such a thing? Because uh, he certainly loved women. He enjoyed women and was just
Yeah.
who's getting who? Fucking is great. And
I don't know. I'm gonna say that's sex addiction light.
yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I haven't told you the filthy part yet.
Yeah, let's get to it.
So, anyways, this is back in the 90s, and occasionally he'd film themselves. Again, totally consensual and all that shit. Anyways, this one woman he had dated 2 or 3 times, he goes home for lunch, and there's this note on the camera, probably a VH tape one, and it was like, press play. Anyways, there was this chick, and she was doing herself in the ass with a dildo. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? In
Mm-hmm.
his place before she had left that morning. Okay. She stayed
Mm-hmm.
back. And I said, geez, man, what'd you do? And he goes, oh, I jerked off right away. So, anyways, and
That's
so I don't want that. I acknowledge that's extremely exciting, very exciting. Lord knows I want exciting. But that's sort of like, I don't know. That's where I get a little religious, and I am. That's shocking coming from me because I'm
yeah.
not religious at all.
You're pretty open-minded, so
Well, I'm as naughty as a Japanese vampire in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
every once in a while, there's just something in me goes, no, we're
No.
not taking that to the Kentucky Derby. No way.
And a lot of people would be totally okay and would want it and go down that road.
Sure, sure.
There's a lot of hedonism and debauchery, and there's a lot of anything goes nowadays, it seems.
Oh, certainly more than ever before.
Certainly
Uh,
more. Maybe the Roman times might rival. Maybe we've got a ways to go before we hit to the level of what some of the stuff that happened back then happened. I read some stuff and I'm like, oh my God, that's a shocker. People in power. Ooh, I'm not even going to repeat what I heard or read.
yeah,
But
yeah. No, it's
you know the Topper family, the Topper's Pizza.
Applezinis.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I did a photo shoot about 12 years ago. The founder, the dad,
Jerry.
I forget his name. He was about 70 at the time. He was about 74. I don't even know if he's still around. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah. Michael's
boys,
dad. Yeah, yeah.
one of the boys and him were doing they were doing an article in one of the monthly magazines that came out in our area. And I like talking to people and I like asking them questions and I'm just very naturally I go into those questions. I get a little bit nosy, and nobody has a problem because I'm curious. Hey, how did you start all this? And blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
And he was giving me all kinds of good stuff. And not 5 minutes into his response, he says, you really got to control your sex impulse. He just come out
Yep.
and said it.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, never
yeah,
heard anybody actually say that. And I've only read about it in Think and Grow Rich. Because there's a
yeah.
whole, one of the chapters is
Transmutation.
sex
Transmutation.
sex transmutation.
Yeah.
So easier said than done. I get that, and so I guess it's something that if we're if we're smart about it, we can use it to a positive end and we can become. It's almost like a superpower, ideally. in a perfect world. I don't know what it
Yeah,
feels like, but
yeah. I must have read that part 50 times.
really,
And
how old were you?
my 30s,
All right.
and I
You
was
were
like,
married?
and I don't even know if it applied to me because it was like, all right, I got a beautiful wife.
Mhm.
We're cool, and it's like I don't have to go hunting anymore.
No.
Um, okay, where's this fucking superpower? You know what I mean? And the truth is, not to jump ahead, it was like me just like power is subtle, where it's like, you know how I was describing the financial markets? We were trained like there's a cliff.
Hmm.
Like, no, there's often it's like a quiet but deep river is often way more powerful than rapids.
Right.
So like I think that's where it was like, and I had to compare it to. So not everything you read applies to yourself. That's one of the things you have to understand, no matter what. And I was like, but some of the guys I was just describing,
Hmm.
it would have applied to them, and especially this buddy of mine that was, you know, he went a little bit, well, wild and could.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say for him, uh, yeah, yeah, he was an interesting guy. Did you know? Like, got one more wild story. One more wild story about him.
Go for it.
Before he would go out on a date, he would sometimes hire a prostitute to come over
Yeah.
and have sex.
Are
And I
you
said,
serious?
yeah. And I said, why the fuck would you do that? He goes, just so I'm chill on the date.
Unbelievable.
And it was sort of like, okay, man. Like again, it was like, wow, that is remarkable and exciting.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
that's kind of like that's like climbing a mountain with your hands. Whereas like, I admire you for it, but I'm not doing that.
Well, there's a corollary to that too, and I've heard of this before. Guys would jerk off before going out on a date just so they were chill. They
Yeah,
want to release that sexual tension.
he had a little bit more money.
No, I was just thinking that. I said he had money to burn if he can do that. But
Yeah,
that seems a little extreme to me, I would imagine. I don't know, it scares the hell out of me in one sense because I have a propensity for addictive behavior, so I'm always a little bit apprehensive and but but never in that area insofar as that's concerned. But the potential is there. I don't think I've been as guarded and safe as you because you sort of had common sense about it, said no.
yeah,
But I saw the potential for me anyways, and I've had friends who have totally gone off the deep end, just like your buddy hiring a prostitute to have sex with before he goes on a date. And in one sense, isn't that bad? It isn't.
yeah,
In a sense, he wants to be chill, which means he wants it to go well with this potential date. So maybe at one sense he's looking for a life partner. I don't know.
yeah. And when you tell these, like, oh my, like, if someone was listening to this, they go, that is disgusting. And I was like, if you actually met him, you go, well, hold on here. He does that, but he's actually a wonderful guy.
He is, yeah.
He's a wonderful guy.
So he's containing that part of him and he's managing it. So,
Yeah. He's
but
got a few
anyways,
hours of vampire in him.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
I've known people who have just gone off the deep end in that realm and paid a heavy price for it. So, and with the obsession can get pretty extreme with some people.
Yeah.
I don't know. On that, if you've seen the Netflix special on who's Emilio Estevez's older brother?
Charlie. Oh, I don't know his
Charlie,
older brother. You mean
Charlie.
Charlie Sheen?
Have you seen that special?
I watched an interview with him just recently.
No, there's a whole
And it,
special on Netflix.
okay, no.
Okay.
And I gotta admit, I was actually more impressed with Charlie Sheen after the interview than I had started.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he was a crazy ass wildman, but
Beyond.
he
He's
does have brains to a degree. He does.
lucky to be
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah. Um, Holy fuck, though, has he ever aged himself though? Where it was like, it's he's a very handsome guy, but it was like when I saw him in the interview, he's got the the old man look where the shoulders are
Oh,
like you
really?
saw him like this. And he was completely energetic. It was just like, holy shit, you got mileage on you.
I thought he looked pretty good. He's like your age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you hear his story in this Netflix special, it's absolutely beyond human comprehension how he survived.
Oh,
How did he
I think about it.
survive? All
Yeah.
those drugs,
Yeah.
all that sex. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dodged a few bullets, that's for damn sure. And but I thought he looked pretty good. So I
Yeah.
don't know why he's doing this now, and he's probably at some level trying to make up for lost time or find his place in the world, or maybe he found God, or he's trying to find purpose and share a good message of sorts through his life experiences. But man, they were intense.
Well, I don't I don't judge them too hard because I think of the mistakes I've made and I
Uh-huh.
was opposite of famous. I think of where I've been fucked over in business and just, meeting a few snakes along the way. What if that was times 1,000?
Hmm.
Fuck. You know what I mean?
So, what are some of the big ones? Do you have a King of King mistakes that are the big
Ah,
ones? That's a good question.
ah,
I never even thought of that for myself. Well, I'll let you go first if you got an answer.
the one that I actually wrote about it. It's not that because I think about my mistakes. I actually wrote one there where I was like, was my mistake a lack of knowledge, lack of aptitude, and learn from it? Or the worst, was it a lack of character? And even
Oh my
there, you
God.
can't, you know what I mean? And I was like, you're going to make some of those because a lack connotates you don't fucking have it, meaning
Uh-huh.
you got to develop it.
Uh-huh.
But it was like simple ones where I thought poorly of somebody based on what somebody said,
Right.
and then found out I was completely, absolutely wrong. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I analyzed it where it was like, no, I saw them in action. I talked to them, and it'd be like, holy Christ, I didn't like her for 5 months. You know what I mean? And I was like, and all she would ever be is nice to me and all that other stuff. But
So you
no.
listen to gossip.
Yes, I did.
So so the big message is there that you were naively believing what somebody else said. You were
Well, that's
young.
the thing. I wasn't even being judgy. I was worse. I accepted the conviction of others.
The
You know what I mean? Where it was like, oh, you all passed sentence. She must have been guilty.
that's the worst of your sins, Doug. Come on, you got to have something juicier than that. I mean, that's a good one though. I
Well,
like that. I like that. That's a good life lesson.
yeah, I
That's
got. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I got what I call graveyard stories, where it was like I'd sometimes like to write about some of this shit, but it was like,
yeah, yeah. Take them to your grave.
nah, nah, I'm not fucking talking that story because
No.
it's not that it would be taken out of context; it would be fully understood in context.
And then
It'd
what
be
would
like,
happen? People would totally like not never look at you the same way.
no, and
Is
they
that what
would
you
be
mean?
right. They would be correct. So it'd be like, yeah, yeah. No, it's just like, but it's simple ones like that. That
Uh-huh.
was like, uh, but yeah, uh, yeah, those simple mistakes like that where I was thinking this way, and it
Hmm.
was like, all the evidence was right there in front of me, and I fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, yeah,
It's good. We don't need the details because what you just said is fully understood. And if you don't understand it, just keep at it. You'll understand it apparent in time. If you could go back and tell your 21-year-old self what you just talked about,
yeah,
would you say that? Would you say, look, this is not a good idea, but try hard to understand this because it will click in one day.
yeah,
There's an important
yeah,
message there.
yeah. Wow, it was just for a lot of myself. There's that scene in the Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one with Kurt Russell, where it's like he's describing his
I love that.
Genesis.
I love that series, by the way.
Yeah. And he just arrived like basically as a big brain and floated there for millions, if not billions of years going, what the fuck? Like, what am I? And I was like, on a very tiny level, I was like, I understand that. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Uh-huh.
Because I grew up in a very decent environment,
Uh-huh.
but there was no fucking coaching. And if there was criticism, it was not constructive. If it
Yeah.
fucked up, it was destructive criticism. You know,
Yeah.
like, wow, you know,
So I got to watch
like,
that movie again.
what's that?
I got to watch that movie again.
Yeah,
Guardians
yeah,
of the Galaxy, the second and the third one. I've seen the first one several times.
yeah, yeah.
Who's your
Oh,
favorite character? Do you have a favorite character from that series?
um, actually, yeah, that's a shit. I kind of like them all. Like, I actually thought the chemistry, even with the CGI characters,
Hmm.
was
CGI
excellent.
counts.
Yeah, they all got their merits in there. I can't pick a favorite. You know what I mean? So no, that's where the
I,
ensemble cast
I'm going to
works.
show you my favorite character.
The raccoon. Yeah, yeah. What's
Ro
that?
Rocket. I have him on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's an example where because I was becoming disillusioned quite quickly with those Marvel movies because I was like, yeah, these are movies that I would have really liked when I was 14
Yeah.
because they were overhyped, right?
Well, the
Anyways, I
Guardian.
saw that come out and I was like, oh, this is going to be a stupid fucking movie.
Hmm.
Wrong, wrong. It was like, I was probably watching it for like 1 minute going, this is cool. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's well
So,
done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
And I
all the
have
mo
a,
I think all the movies of that genre devolved into some, they just lost their way somewhere after 2016, 17, except
well,
for Guardians, the third part, which came out only a few years ago.
all of them. They became proselytizing instead of entertainment
Yeah,
and storytelling. It was like social engineering. You know?
they lost the narrative, they lost their way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
True.
Which is only
Okay.
allowed in a fiat currency society, where it was like, no, no. If you actually had to make money, no
Hmm.
goddamn way those movies would have came out.
No, if you had to make money.
Yeah, they had to make money. But
Well, I think that movie that just came out that we were talking about a little while ago with
yeah,
Leonard DiCaprio, I don't think that movie is going to be, I
no,
don't think it's going to be successful
no.
financially.
Well, they've lost it. It's like we see the preaching, and it was
Yeah.
just like,
It
yeah,
might win Academy Awards, but
yeah.
they're using a different they're using a different sort of like criteria now for that, and it's like whoever's the most woke wins.
Well, so I study business a lot, and it's fascinating to me that I even saw something this morning is that the amount of workers in Hollywood connected to the film industry just from 2 years ago is 50% down.
Hmm.
That's extraordinary because in a business like that, to even say 10% down would be a
Yep.
gigantic number. And it's
Yeah.
there's many reasons where it was like cheaper and easier to make films everywhere else,
Yep.
way less bullshit social engineering,
Yeah.
uh, and the advance of technology, where it's like we don't need to be there. You know what I
No,
mean?
they're shooting
And
themselves in the foot.
huge, huge.
Yeah.
So, but it kind of reminds me, it's like Wilhelm Kaiser, the Kaiser of Germany there during World War I, where it was like
Uh-huh.
dressed in a white uniform, tried to give a speech to these Krupp employees on a coal pile, and he just looked ridiculous. You know what I mean? Or just like 2 years before, he had the power of life and death.
Uh-huh.
But it was like even there, the German workers were looking at him going, "This guy's a fucking moron." You know what I mean? And we gave our allegiance to this guy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's the
What the hell?
yeah, yeah, and we can all be fooled. Like there's, I call them one timers, but I can honestly admit there was movies that I totally enjoyed. That it not because they're grim and I won't watch them anymore. Where I go, that's actually a shit movie, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can get
Well,
past it.
You got to define shit movie. I mean, if it's a good story, obviously it resonated with you.
Oh, I can give one actually. Star Trek, the new generation, or not
Oh,
the new generation, like one that came out in 2008.
yeah.
And there's lots I like about it, but it was like the lens flare. You know what I mean?
Oh, drove me
And
nuts.
and it was like I can't watch it no more. Somehow that got by me at first, like the first
Really?
time I watched it. Now it's just awful. Like where
Huh.
I can't even watch 5, 10 minutes of it, and it's like fuck off, the lens flare.
I noticed that right away in that movie. It drove me batty.
Yeah, it was
But
constant.
none of the Star Trek movies really did anything for me, but it could just be me.
Yeah, yeah. Even the earlier ones with Leonard Nimoy and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I was never a Trekkie, and people get caught up in the whole, Star Wars, but
yeah.
one, two, and three, and the few afterwards were pretty good. But, George Lucas, I mean, man, what he did was amazing, but you got to put it in context of the time. We've never seen
Yeah,
anything like that. And it's an old story. There's nothing new under the sun here. You got to tell a good story.
yeah.
So
It
yeah,
captures people. Lots of people want to worship something,
uh-huh.
and so they'll worship a movie franchise. You know what I mean?
Well, Star Trek certainly had that.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like so when I watched the original Star Treks from the '60s,
Yeah, it's not
and
bad. It's actually not bad.
it's like, wow, this came out when I was born, and it was like
It
it's
had some
compared to
de
the
it had some depth to it.
yeah, well, compared to the drivel now, where it was just like just shit. And I was watching a few other things of 1970s television.
Hmm.
Holy shit, television was serious. You know, like they called it the idiot box back then.
Uh-huh.
By golly, for like an hour and a half long movie on like CBS,
Yeah.
man, they busted their ass trying
Yeah.
to make something interesting and good. Like it was huge, huge. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whereas like now it's like, what the fuck is this? And that, and then the dribbles when Seinfeld went off the air, or it was like, is there anything good anymore? You know what I mean? There used to be like, I don't know, 10 good things on television a week, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Amazing.
Well,
Movies are the same. Movies are the same.
the pendulum swings, and
Uh, we went through a renaissance, man. We
we
went
did.
through a artistic renaissance where the population, the communication, even the financial vehicles all came together to do fantastic work.
Hmm.
Like I remember figuring out, Rob, like, wow, musicians like just a few hundred years ago were absolute fucking nobodies. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, come here and sing me a ballad, you wretch. You know what I mean? And have a wine skin and be gone with you. Now it's like they stand, or in front of 80,000 people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Where it was like, well, what's the difference? You know, like amplifiers, like playing the mandolin back then just wasn't quite as heavy duty as the electric guitar. But it was like, no, 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 musicians, the same level of competence and quality have
Yeah.
always existed.
Well, it was
But they
probably
were,
harder. It was probably harder back then.
I guess so, man. You know what I mean? Walking in those shitty shoes from one shitty castle to another.
Well, you
Fuck, am I
had
there yet?
most people were trying to just to survive day to day. So if you had enough time and talent and the ability to just play music,
Absolutely.
like Mozart or Beethoven.
Yeah. Yeah. And even
Anyway,
there, go ahead.
I was just going to say we're up to an hour now, so
Oh, effortless. Effortless. Yeah, 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 yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about nothing much of anything.
Well, I hope it's been entertaining.
I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue.
You just got to go for it. And that
Yep.
was the thing where it was just like, I don't like being on a script.
No.
Like you were asking, like, hey, Doug, do you got any YouTubes? And I got some, but it was like, um, I like doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just chatting. Where if all of a sudden I got to do something every week myself in this regard. Because again, I'm handicapped by, well, I got all kinds of stories. You know what I mean? Then it's like, I can't tell everything. You know what I mean? And even though I like telling stories, there's a shit ton of days I don't want to even say anything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah,
true.
yeah,
We all have
you
those
know,
days.
yeah, where it's like I'm not interested in that grind. And the other thing too, if I understand the algorithm, which I do not of
Uh-huh.
YouTube,
Uh-huh.
if you're not putting out regular material, man, you are lost in the mists of time. Even if what you were doing was spectacular,
Uh-huh.
if yeah, if people aren't constantly so it's a real treadmill.
It
But it
is.
was like
Churn,
I might
churn.
start, go ahead.
I was just saying churn.
Well, that's the thing. So I may use it as a photographic album where it was like going forward here, where it's like because all that writing I've been doing for like the last 3 years,
Hmm.
yeah, that's for kids. You know what I mean? Now, if that ever got me attention and drew somebody and I could make some money off it, beautiful. But I'm just one wave in the ocean, I think. You know what I mean? And,
Well, you're having
but
fun. You're having fun.
oh yeah, yeah. But where I can put this on YouTube, so some of these very colorful anecdotes I've shared with you,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm not going to actually write about those
No.
because, boy, that's putting it on paper takes it to a different realm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we'll talk about all this and that after this is done. And who knows? Who knows? It might just I might just archive it and never sees the light of day again. And we're just mostly having fun here.
Robbie, you got my permission to post this out there. I don't give a shit. Welcome.
Well, you never know. You might say, Rob, that was fun. Let's do it again. And we can do another one in a few weeks.
Well, yeah.
No agenda, no script.
Yeah. No, um, no, like this is enjoyable and stuff like this. And it was like, see how I woke up? Like, I was a little dull there when I was first starting, but it was like,
I knew that was going to happen.
yeah, and this is my witching hour where it's like,
Is it?
yeah, like afternoon, even though I'm basically carnivore and I don't have the carb crash.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like I fucking hate meetings between 2 and 5.
So
You
do
know
you
what I mean?
find you're down and you need to have, do you have a nap most days?
If I can, I call them snaps, short nap.
Yeah,
And all I need
that's what I do.
is a literal head nod. Like if I can
Yeah.
like just even pass out for like 2 seconds,
Hmm.
wow, that's like a shower for the brain. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, that was good. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I
That's
did
cool.
that even in my teen years. Like I'd be
Uh-huh.
working on a farm like a white slave, and it was like hot and exhausting. Yet, to be honest, I enjoyed the work. I really did. And but it was just like after being like moving thousands of pounds of like hay,
Uh-huh. That's
I'd
hard
go
work.
sit in the I'd sit under a tree and just I need to pass out for 5 minutes.
Really.
Then I'm good to go for another 20 hours and stuff like that. So um,
Cool.
yeah, my sleep patterns a short nap and then it's like 6 hours of deep sleep. Yeah, yeah.
This is you not having slept much of anything last night.
Yeah, like, and to be fair, I laid there. For all I know, I did pass out,
Okay.
but I was in that realm of
I
felt
know
like
the
I was awake. You know what I mean?
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and this is where like because my elbow hurts, like I went into a guest bedroom because it was like, man, I needed the whole goddamn bed to spread out like Jesus Christ on his back. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'm fucked up here. And
Uh-huh.
I wanted it, but it was like this. It would have been one of those nights where I was like, wow, I didn't sleep, and like Andrew would be like, I don't know, I heard you snoring here and there. You know what I mean? But all I know is like this morning getting up and I was like, wow, my ass weighed 3,000 pounds. And I was like, you know how I know that?
Oh.
That's the effort it took to get out of bed. I, est- I
You weren't
estimate,
you weren't
yeah,
feeling it.
my ass was easily friction, everything else,
Uh-huh. 300
inertia.
pounds.
No, 3,000, a ton and a half. Yeah, fucking
So
mighty effort.
and it was all because of your elbow. You were in pain.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't because you were we were going to do this. That not
No, no, no,
that had
no,
nothing to do with it.
no, no. I mean, in honesty, part of it was a potential group benefit deal
Uh-huh.
possibly went sideways on me yesterday. I was
Uh-oh.
surprised. I've been working on this for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't disagree with the owner of the company. So he's really hard to get in touch with. I thought yesterday was decision fucking day. Like
Uh-huh.
it's yes. And without a doubt, I've earned it. Like I worked on this a long time.
Uh-huh.
Well,
You felt good about where it was going.
very. But and he is a very busy guy, but I fell under a new company policy because nothing to do with me. His commercial insurance, like for his buildings and stuff, came up.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? 39% increase. And he didn't have any claims or anything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how. And to go here, he saw that 39% increase. He didn't get an explanation from this commercial broker. And he's like, he was talking to a few of his business buddies, and she only ever uses one company. Like she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't shop around. You
Yeah.
got to shop around occasionally. And I was like, and you can overshop. Sometimes staying with the same company is
Yeah.
the best decision. Anyways, he got sticker shock, not because of me, because actually my deal is tiny. The group benefits is tiny compared to all his other shit. But he got mad and he felt insulted. He's like, that's fucking it. When we go out for this stuff, I need three fucking quotes,
Right.
regardless. And it was like, oh, great. And it was like, because the one thing in the group, you can, if he was to give away my figures, I can be undercut 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's called buying the account. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just try it. And I was like, fuck. But I was cool with it because he is absolutely correct to shop around. So it was like, here's a guy telling me he's about to do a smart move.
This had nothing to do with you.
That had nothing to do with me.
And this fact that you've been working on this, it was this
Yeah.
other company renewed and they didn't. No, before you move on, I want to know where this is going, but I have to ask you one question. The person who was behind the 39% increase,
Yes.
do you think it would have been wise, and probably the answer is yes, for that person to have preemptively at least come up with some sort of an explanation to come up to
Yeah,
him and say,
totally.
look, sorry about this, but here's the reality, blah, blah,
Totally. Now
just to
that does
soften it.
happen in the group benefits world because the people I'm associated with, you get first off, if you start a new plan, there's an update every quarter, every 3 months of like, here's how many dental claims and like, here's how your employees are using the plan. And then after that, there's at least one or two updates a year. So you can go, holy shit, man, your crew is really getting heavy into the Ozempic. This is going to cost you more money when it comes to year end for renewal. So
Hmm.
preempt it, plan for it. And I was like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, he got the 39% uh, increase from out of the blue. Like him
Crazy.
being pissed off, he has he's completely correct in being pissed off. Like so, so I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's stuff where I'm trying to get an account and
And
it's
that happens.
affecting. Yeah, but he's being smart. He is being smart. So we'll see. And what I'm about to find out, if I may, because my whole thing going forward here with the group benefits is the personal touch, like showing up in person.
Uh-huh.
And they all love that part. What I'm about to find out by next week is, but is it the dollar amount that fucking counts? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Or it could be as simple as like this thing that cost quite a few $1,000s a month, where it's like, oh, they came in $100 cheaper than me, and I lost the deal. So
Uh-huh.
it's just because, again, I see this all the time with so many business owners where it's like they want the trust, they want all that, and they do. But when it comes down to trigger time, decision time, and it might often be a bad decision, they see the cheaper figure, not understanding like, oh, that actually might cost you more later.
In
Because
the
the
long run.
insurance companies always make their money. Like, like they're all interconnected and all that stuff. So, but that's part of the gamesmanship of the group
Yeah.
benefit. But yeah, so that
Eh,
how do you say it? I was sitting there expecting to be told I'm a good boy and I got the deal and move forward. And I was like, oh, there's a fucking monkey wrench in the wheels.
uh-huh.
And I'm an old enough pro at this point where it was like, it's irrelevant how good of a job I did. Uh, it's up to the gods now.
Yeah.
It's up to the gods.
Well, it might work out in spite of that.
I hope so. You know what I mean? And this is where I will have to be patient because there is a company and not an individual agent that's going to come in. For sure, will be a little bit less expensive than the one I proposed.
Hmm.
All the shit they were complaining about the lack of service,
Uh-huh.
that's going to happen. So
Okay.
I might have to wait another year to get another crack at it. But it
Yeah.
was like, but I got enough of an ego. I only asked the cheerleader out so many times. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Where it
Uh-huh.
was like after a while, it's like, ah, fuck you. There's other
Uh-huh.
good looking women out there.
Yep. I
You
hear
know,
you.
it gets personal.
Well, let me know if it works out. I'm curious to find out eventually what's going to happen.
I
And
could know as early as next week. I'll say I'll know within the month because that's the other thing. These guys say I'll get back to you in 3 days.
yeah, right.
That's minimum 3 months. You know, if anybody actually does what they say, I'm usually like taken back by. I was like, oh, you weren't bullshitting me. You said 5 days, and you're gonna phone me at 10. You did? Wow. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.